Stephen A., James Harden struggled late in the game against the Spurs. What did you make of it? Was it what the Spurs were doing defensively, or do you think Harden could be just wearing down?
Well, it's a combination of both. He was definitely worn down. He played 43 minutes, Lindsay, and on top of it all, Mike D'Antoni only played 7 players and never got the ball out of James Harden's hands. So not only was he on the floor, but he was the primary ball handler throughout the entire 43 minutes that he was on the court. Everything went through him. So he got no reprieve, no rest whatsoever, as far as I'm concerned. That was a big part. But the other thing, you got to give credit where credit is due to Jonathan Simmons. He stepped in, handled himself very, very well. He defended James Harden, forced 2 turnovers, an errant pass on another, and on top of it all, drew an offensive foul. You just got to give credit where credit is due. This kid is young. He's up and coming. He's young. He's athletic. He's got fresh legs, and obviously is more formidable, at least on the defensive end of the floor at this point, than a Tony Parker would have been, at least in the eyes of some people. So you give credit all around, but in the end, it was a collective, concerted effort. I look at D'Antoni more so than I even look at James Harden, because James Harden was absolutely exhausted, and you could tell.
If you're giving credit, you got to give it to Manu Ginobili on the other side. If you're the Rockets,
Sure.
What do you do in Game 6?
Well, you get an attack mode, and you get a collective effort from everybody. You know, one day Ryan Anderson is showing up. Another game Trevor Ariza is showing up. Another day Eric Gordon is showing up. Well, last night it was Ryan Anderson that had a good game after having an anemic game the game before. Trevor Ariza, however, didn't have a good game last night. Neither did Eric Gordon, who shot 4 of 13. These are the kind of things that Houston has to correct itself. They've got to push the ball up the floor, Lindsay, because if you get into half-court sets, San Antonio's defense is too good for Houston to take advantage of that. They've got shooters, yes, but they don't have dudes who can make plays off the dribble the way that a James Harden can. So you've got to push the ball up the floor and get open shots. What good is it having Ryan Anderson with Eric Gordon, with a Patrick Beverley, and a James Harden and Trevor Ariza on the floor at the same time when James Harden is the only one that can really create a shot for himself? You can't be a half-court offense that way, and Clint Capella is a liability in terms of half-court sets. He doesn't have that kind of game. So you have to push the ball up the floor to get open shots for guys before San Antonio is able to get back on defense and get its defense set. If you don't do that, you're not going to beat them if you are Houston, because they're not gifted enough. Golden State is, but this Houston team is not gifted enough to beat San Antonio in a half-court game.
You love ragging on Capella. Hey, tonight.
I like him.
You do.
He's just not a great offensive player.